This may not be anything to anybody, but I guess basically what I'm doing is just documenting. Uh, kind of, I I use it as my documentary of my life. But I wanted to capture this moment. Today is August the 21st, and the time is 6:31 and in the morning. I had to turn my heater on. It's 48 degrees. And again, it's August 21st. Fall doesn't start until September 20th through the 23rd, somewhere in there. I looked it up yesterday. But at this time here in Virginia, where I am, it's record close to record lows this time of the year. I just thought I wanted to make note of that. Here I am in summer weather, but experiencing still winter temperatures. I don't get it, but part of what this ties into is why another reason I'm making the video is because my life is an allegory. Oh, and not just my life, each of our lives. If we know how to read our life, what's going on around us and within us, we can basically tell where we are spiritually, because our spiritual connection is basically communicated through allegorical, through you could tell what it is by reading what's happening in your eyesight. It explains it. And for example, let me get to the point. For example, I've been in the home, again, going on 3 years. October, it will be 3 years in my fixer-upper home. And me alone, I'm only doing bit by bit as I can on a one income, fixed income. But again, it's being done at its own pace, which I have no complaint about. But I've been having pine needles basically since I moved here and the new roof got put on. The pine needles started to become an issue. And it took over 2 years for the actual, well, no, not really, because I've always cleaned the gutters on one part of the house. I'm able to easily access the gutter and clean the pine needles out. But I have a 2-level roof, a split level, or however it's called. But so that means I had to watch pine needles really accumulate in an area that I felt I had no access to get it done unless I paid someone. And also on the area that was easily accessible for me to clean the pine needles, there was an area that it I don't know, it just got to the point the pine needles became an issue. And again, like I said, over 2 years, I watched them accumulate. While in the meantime, here and there, I did try to not let that happen, but it got past me in areas that I couldn't maneuver on top of my roof. But what I'm trying to say regarding our life explains what's happening with us spiritually. And it also, God has taught me that my life explains what's going on with us all on a spiritual level. So to explain what the pine needles on my roof means to me spiritually, what's in my spirit about what God has been showing me about what's going on in my life and around my life. And he's also explained that what's going on in my life is basically what's happening with us as a collective, as a new world citizens. Those of us that are living for the new world, the new kingdom, higher dimensions, higher spiritual consciousness, lifestyles. Us as a collective, spiritually, humanity, right now, I don't know if it's because it's always a division. There's always a division. Because I was going to say, I don't know if it's humanity or spiritually. No, there's always a division. There are those that choose to not come up higher or not to evolve their spiritual walk or their higher consciousness, their God self within them. There are people that choose to not walk in those types of consciousness of being aware of there is a spiritual part of your life, which is you. So I'm not going to say as humanity, I'm going to say as those of us that are consciously choosing to walk in a higher life, no matter how we choose to describe it, whether we're Christians, Buddhism, Allah, Quran, or I don't know, the different divisions of religion. But God knows our heart, because we're going to be faithful to whatever we choose to come up under. I choose to not be up under any type of doctrine or whatever other than my God, my Father, my spirit, me. So been there, done that anyway. Been there, done that. No problem with it. If you choose to be committed to a congregation or whatever, I almost say institution, but forgive me, Father, then be faithful to that commitment, because whatever we're choosing, you be faithful as if it was God that put you there. So do your best to abide by what God is leading you and directing you through. But the story of the pine needles on my roof is letting me know that those of us on this side of our spiritual walk, elevating and building our higher selves, letting it more and more come through us, evolve within and without us, that was plain as day to me. And I've been wanting to share this, but I just kept it to myself. But us during the spiritual walk, God is showing me that we have been maybe watching and participating in things that we haven't been comfortable with. It hasn't been, it's just been on the back of our minds. I got to stop this. I got to get out of this. I got to let this go. Whatever it may be in each of our different lives, we all have basic foundations, basic principles, but different descriptions of what we're going through. But the lessons that we're to learn comes through millions of different ways. Mine at one point is on the pine needles on my roof. And what I see through that as a spiritual lesson that I'm learning in my life, and that what God is showing me what's happening in my brothers and sisters' lives as well, is we're learning, we're clearing out with the clarity, because we may have seen it, but we didn't walk in the power to do something about it. But now it's that power of God within us and the clarification of our thoughts. It's all in alignment. Our thoughts, because before we were just thinking about it. Man, I'm going to do this. Man, I got to get out of this. Man, I'm going to let this go. Man, before it's been in our thoughts, but the power to be in our actions hadn't come into alignment yet. So what God is revealing to me at this time in our spiritual growth, we are having the power to clear out anything that's blocking our growth. And now we're clearing out our third, what they call your third eye, your first eye, or your pineal gland, or your crown chakra. All these things, God has now given us the power to move anything that's blocking things out of our way. We're in alignment now. Our thoughts is in alignment with our actions and our spirit. That's your spirit, soul, and body, all in alignment. Walking in the power of God within us, expressing it without, clearing anything that's blocking the flow of that essence, the core of God flowing to us and through us. The pine needles were blocking the smooth flow. Yeah, the pine needles allowed it to go through, to come through at a slower pace, at a trickle, drip, drop type thing. But if those pine needles were removed, it would be a flood. God said he will open up the windows of heaven. The floodgates of heaven are being poured out upon us and through us. And now we have the power to remove anything that's blocking the will of God within us to be expressed without. So as above, as it is below, as it is within, so it is without. So as above, so below, I've been clearing pine needles. As within, so without, I've been clearing pine needles. The desire for us to not have anything in our way for us to move up higher, to come up higher, to evolve in a higher consciousness of God. We have the power. We've always had it, but now it's like the power of God is here for us to be in alignment, spirit, soul, and body. There are no more excuses. We all have a choice. God gave us the power. It's like he made it easy for everybody, if you choose to, come on up a little higher. Have a blessed day.